Ghost of Manacles and the Mademoiselle. This is a story about a man named Manacles and his wife, the Mademoiselle. A story about a villainous villain who'd do anything to get his hands on the Mormon's treasure. A story about the good-hearted Mormon who tried to help, but was helpless until the very end. A story of love and redemption, hopes and plans. And also a ghost story that has little to do with any of those things. A hamlet tucked away in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains can be found. Joyce McKinney, a young woman who lives there, has a fantasy life full of flashing cameras and trophies. A beauty queen is what she aspires to be. Aside from the fact that she has a certain allure, the fact that she isn't very gorgeous means that she has a hard time winning pageants. However, she's torn between the two options. On the one hand, she aspires to live in the spotlight. Other than that, she's got religion. A noble and pious life awaits. In order to attend Brigham Young University in Utah, she became a Mormon when she reached legal drinking age. She apparently fell enamored with the Osmonds, the Mormons' most prominent family. When McKinney and a friend became groupies of the Osmond dynasty, she and one of their elder brothers apparently started a relationship, but the clan's matriarch Olive Osmond killed any aspirations of a deeper connection. When she was just 19, she met Kirk Anderson, a regular but little awkward 19-year-old Mormon, and the two began dating. A power imbalance was already present when Anderson was just 16 and McKinney was 25 years old. In any case, the two-year romance ended abruptly when Anderson revealed to Mormon elders that he had slept with McKinney and that she had lost her virginity because of him. Later, Anderson was relocated to a new location. His ex-girlfriend was horrified by the Mormons' intrusion and quickly abandoned the faith. She didn't give up on Anderson, on the other hand, when she finally caught up with Anderson in Oregon after chasing him all the way across the United States from California. Anderson had already made it apparent that he didn't want anything to do with her anymore by assuming a false identity to avoid being found. He was then sent to England, where he served as a missionary. Yet she was unyielding in her resolve. Having hired a private investigator to find Anderson, McKinney flew to England with her friend and accomplice, 24-year-old Keith May, to begin their search. Anderson was kidnapped by a man with a fake weapon near Ewell's LDS Church and taken to an isolated Devon house where McKinney tried to get him pregnant by forcing him into sexual relations with her repeatedly. As a matter of fact, she has always maintained that the restrictions were an attempt to make him feel less guilty. He was given the okay to go after 3 days of being held captive. He bravely informed the authorities about what had occurred, and they set up a sting operation that resulted in the arrests of McKinney and May. As McKinney's irrationality began to emerge in court, she gushed about the virtues of oral sex and vowed to ski down Mount Everest in the nude with a carnation up my nose if Anderson requested her to. Moreover, she argued that raping a male would be impossible for a woman. Anderson's testimony made his viewpoint clear. Tore the pajamas off of my body. He snatched them from my neck. I couldn't move because the chains were too tight. She then had sex with him. I didn't intend for that to happen. I was in a state of complete devastation. Since then, McKinney has been detained in Holloway Prison as the judicial proceedings continued. She's been accused of kidnapping and indecent assault of a male, among other things. For Anderson, there was no such thing as true justice. The year was 1978. It was still permissible to commit rape a man by a woman in the UK under the Sexual Offences Act 1956, which had never been amended since its inception in 1956. During this period, she was able to get out on bond and depict herself as an innocent victim of the system. Antics and investigative reporting soon dispelled this impression. Trying to sell her story for €50,000 on Fleet Street, she ran ads in Variety and tried to get the attention of film producers. At night, she wore low-cut outfits and partied hard, mingling with the glitterati. With these, the press revealed that McKinney had taken nude photos for sexual images and that her ex-boyfriends were involved. While on bond, McKinney and her accomplice escaped, and returned to the United States using fake passports. As far as the judicial system was concerned, they were condemned to a year in prison for failing to show up for their court date. The FBI later caught them for using phony passports, but they only received suspended sentences. It had been a media circus, and Anderson was trying to get away from it discreetly, thanks in no small part to McKinney's own efforts. Since their escape from punishment in 2004, when Keith May died, McKinney has repeatedly reappeared. The following year, she was arrested for a second time for stalking Anderson outside his workplace, this time with a notepad tracking his whereabouts, handcuffs, and rope. After first denying and yelling at reporters who inquired if she was the same McKinney when she was first asked about having her dog cloned in South Korea in 2008, she found herself in the news for having her dog cloned. Recently, in 2019, she was accused of killing a Holocaust survivor, and police also found warrants for violence and public annoyance in her system. If proven guilty, she might be sentenced to 11 years in prison. According to McKinney's later interviews, she continues to obsess over her ex-boyfriend and elevate him to Hollywood stardom. What transpired between them remains a mystery, and some do not believe it was a rape at all. The truth may lie somewhere in the center, as one person put it. I think it's quite straightforward. Why did McKinney need to abduct him in the first place, even if it was with the help of an accomplice? What's the point of going to the police and reporting Anderson for rape if it was just consensual but guilty sex? In other words, it falls short of the mark. He would have either remained silent or confessed to the elders, as he had done before. Reporting an incident of sexual assault by a woman to the police in 2021 is a big deal, but it was a tremendous issue in 1978 as well. The scorn, the skepticism, and the doubters. It's one of the last remaining taboos. In other words, this is a really daring and significant action that is well outweighed by any residual post-sex remorse. The fact that he took that step shows his genuineness, in my opinion. Who would put themselves through that level of humiliation and scrutiny just because they had sex? Anderson made it quite evident by his behavior and testimony that he had no interest in her. When it comes to sex, there is no gray area. Either you want it or you don't. Coercion is what you're referring to when you talk about persuasion and pressure. Rape. Everything was reduced to a sensationalist farce, and McKinney was the only one who got any heat for it. No, Kirk Anderson isn't some sort of parody character. He is a living, breathing person. Someone who is able to feel and think. Those who were kidnapped at gunpoint and held captive, as well as those who were raped repeatedly. In sum, the story of Manacles and his two wives yields a wealth of rich details that can be mined for hours of entertainment. The tale is a part of a growing collection of stories that are designed to entertain and inspire while also providing important lessons to current and future generations of Mormons. No matter where you are on your own Mormon adventure, you'll find something to treasure in this timeless classic. The mere existence of unsolved mysteries is truly riveting, and there are countless tales of murderers, kidnappings, serial killers, and mysterious disappearances that have remained unresolved for decades. For some people, these stories are captivating while others find it narratively boring. We all have our preferences on which mysteries we enjoy the most. However, each tale is captivating due to its mysterious nature, and we should be thankful for the stories that capture our attention. If you are also a big fan of mystery genre, then don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, Case Closed, to make sure you stay updated on some of the hottest mysteries out there. See you in the next video. Until then, we bid adieu.